This video is all about what is aromatherapy and what are essential oils. A very warm welcome to you to Aromatherapy. Hello my lovelies and welcome to you to Aromatherapy. Thank you for joining me once again. My name is Liz Skatz and I am a clinical holistic therapist specialising in aromatherapy and reflexology, Indian head massage, massage for babies and children and toddlers, as well as massage and aromatherapy for special needs adults and children. I'm also a yoga and meditation teacher and soon to be a keto nutritionalist as well. So let's get right into it, shall we? What is aromatherapy? Now let me start by reading you the official Penny Price definition of aromatherapy. I went to school at Penny Price Academy, which is in Hinckley in the UK, and that's where I got my associate diploma in clinical aromatherapy. It says, aromatherapy is the controlled use of natural essential oils to achieve balance and harmony of the individual in mind, body and spirit. Now that clarified is just that aromatherapy is like a holistic therapy. We're also a complementary therapy, which means that I work alongside other people in other complementary therapies, for example Reiki or anybody else like acupuncturists, things like that. But I also work with the actual conventional medical people as well in this area. So doctors and nurses have all spoken to me about what I do and vice versa. The whole aim of being a complementary therapist is that we work as a team to actually make sure that you get the best possible care. The majority of work that I do in my clinic, which is now 8 years old, is massage therapy. But I do actually sell products so that people can take them home and use them at home, either massage oils or blended specific bespoke oils, especially for their conditions. So it is very much a one-on-one and individual therapy that I do here. So aromatherapy is a lovely holistic way of bringing lots of things together, making sure that in mind and body and spirit you are feeling at your best. And aromatherapy is a very excellent way to achieve that goal. When a human body is out of balance, we're very susceptible to things like colds and flu, and of course the COVID virus, and also other things like emotional problems like depression and stress and anxiety. The human body in balance is a fortress that cannot be breached. So it is a wonderful way to make sure that you stay as healthy as possible. So here comes the definition of essential oils. Essential oils are the aromatic extracts composed of a volatile molecule from a plant. Volatile comes from the Latin volare, which means to fly away, and all the aromatic substances are volatile to some extent, depending on the size of their molecules. We put these oils into different categories: top, middle, and base notes. So a top note essential oil will have very, very small molecules, and it includes the family of the citrus variety, so lots of lemons and oranges and grapefruits and limes are all in this particular category. The next note is middle note. This tends to be the herby varieties, so all the Lamiaceae family, lavenders, rosemary, geranium, peppermint, all kind of balancing. Base notes are big molecules, and they are the ones in a blend that you will smell last. They're the last one to dissipate off into the atmosphere or into your skin. So base notes are patchouli, sandalwood, rose, neroli or frankincense. These tend to be sedative and calming and grounding. Most essential oils are steam distilled from actual bits of the plant, from the leaf to the bark to even flowers. The citrus family, for example, have a different way of extracting the essential oils, as it tends to be in the outside, in the skin. So we use expression. When you peel an orange, for example, and all that beautiful juice comes spraying out, that is the essential oil. When you're buying essential oils, it's extremely beneficial to do as much research about the company as you possibly can. Adulteration in essential oils is extremely common, and especially in varieties like lavender and tea tree, which we will see everywhere, even in the chemists these days. A lot of tea tree oil, especially the cheaper kinds, can be adulterated. In other words, they've either been diluted in some way, or they haven't had all of the chemicals and herbicides and insecticides rinsed off them and cleaned off them before they are distilled. So you may actually get particles of those dangerous chemicals in your blend at the same time. Obviously, when you're wanting to use essential oils, the purer the better. And if you can buy organic, then that's the best way to go. Another thing to look out for when you are buying essential oils is to make sure that they're not too cheap. Now that might sound completely bonkers. However, if you've got some lavender oil that's going for $1.99 in your local little shop somewhere, then that's obviously not going to be terribly good quality. Another thing to look out for when you're buying essential oil is the Latin name. Make sure you look up the Latin name. For example, lavender is Lavandula angustifolia. If it hasn't got that name on the bottle, then walk away. If it doesn't say pure essential oil on the bottle, then please walk away. And if you're buying a bottle of rose essential oil for £2.50, then please walk away. Another good thing that any company selling essential oils should be able to tell you and even email you are the chemical components for that particular batch of essential oils. So for example, say you bought some lavender and it was farmed and batched in October of 2020. You should be able to look at the chemical components from that batch, and the retailer or the wholesaler should be very happy to send you that information. Now, as you might not be a clinical aromatherapist, it might be a bit difficult to understand what all these chemical components are all about. But just the fact that somebody refuses to send you the chemical components of a batch of essential oil is enough for you to have to walk away. Now, the last thing I want to talk about as far as essential oils are concerned today is how to store your essential oils. It's best if they're in the lovely dark coloured bottles, so brown, green or blue, very dark, and also with a good tight fitting lid, and normally with a little plastic dropper in the top as well, so you don't get too much coming out at one time. If you can possibly store them in a dark place that's cool and out of the sunlight, that's even better. And now here is just a little bit of the history of aromatherapy and the use of essential oils. I'm going to be looking at my notes quite a lot here, so just bear with me. As far back as 18,000 BC, there is evidence in the south of France that plants have been used for medicinal purposes. The Egyptians used balsams and perfumes to make them feel good and to cleanse themselves as well. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, actually described the effects of over 300 different plants and described them as the way to health is to have an aromatic bath and a scented massage every day. Wouldn't that be fabulous? During the Middle Ages, people used pomanders, which is basically oranges pricked with cloves to prevent getting the bubonic plague. And also around that time, the beak and the knob, which was that huge, great big mask that people used to wear. They used to put flowers and various different herbs in the beak in order to help prevent them from catching the disease. But it was in 1928 that the French scientist René Gattefossé burnt himself rather badly and placed his arm that he'd burnt into a vat of distilled lavender product. He found that the burn actually healed very quickly, and he was surprised at this, and so decided to look into the healing properties of lavender essential oil. He coined the phrase aromatherapy or aromatherapy, which is what we use to this day. His first book, Modern Aromatherapy, was printed and published in 1937. and in the modern day. Shirley Price founded Shirley Price Aromatherapy back in 1976, and then eventually her daughter took over when Shirley retired and created Penny Price Aromatherapy, and that is where I learnt all about essential oils and gained my clinical aromatherapy diploma. My interest in aromatherapy was sparked back in the late 80s and the early 90s by my sister, and she actually showed me a few essential oils that she'd bought and what they did for her. I then ended up buying a book and carrying on from there. So there you have it, a brief description of aromatherapy, what might happen during an aromatherapy treatment, and also all about essential oils, the top, middle and base notes. I will be covering more in this channel as we go along, so please be sure to like and comment below if you have any questions, and if you'd like what you've seen, consider subscribing to the channel as well so that you don't miss anything, because I will be starting to do very many more videos. Thank you very much for watching.